much about you because we'll be here all night. This room is loaded up with the biggest leaders in the world, business, sports. You know, my son is a big fan of Ronaldo, wherever Ronaldo is here. Ronaldo. And Barron got to meet him, and I think he respects his father a little bit more now, just the fact that I introduced you. So I just want to thank you both for being here. Thank you very much. Really an honor. But I want to thank everybody.
Many Nigerians are wondering why, nobody is questioning Sheikh Gumi, the advocate of a terrorist in Nigeria, and people are wondering why Nigeria government keep quiet about Sheikh Gumi, effrontery. With impunity, come out to sympathize with the terrorists, and nobody has been able to touch him. I think this is what make Niger Delta to give him warning. So what federal government has failed to do, Niger Delta boys has done it. What is your reaction towards this?
Yes, I think he has been placed on global, list of people who have questions to answer over the killing that is going on in the part of the country. And his statement also, shows that he's an enabler of, whatever that's going on in the eastern part. We have seen him play a very close, relationship with these people who are bent on disaliving people. But the worst of all is that Sheikh Gumi came out and told the whole world that those that were buried, they were killed and buried, and there's nothing inside there.
The caskets.
They were just ordinary, gaskets, and that the Christian community in Nigeria were actually telling lies. I think it follows the line of the federal government, denying the report that there was also a Christian genocide in Nigeria. The federal government denied that. I think that's what angered the American leadership and government to take the matter to the United Nations, where we saw a lot of things being played out currently in that regard. But if you look at the reaction coming from Asari Dokubo and the Niger Delta Avengers, giving a series of warning to these figures, even though Asari Dokubo has aligned with the reality of questioning the rationale why Sheikh Gumi should actually come out and make that kind of statement, blaming it on just nothing on ground. So it gives you a lot of things. It tells you a lot of things, the Niger Delta militants, and let me just put it that the Avengers or that have already sent a strong warning to Gumi, and of course some of the reckless statement that's been credited to Asari Dokubo on the issue of Donald Trump taking a decisive decision in Nigeria. So whether they have fled, we're hearing that Sheikh Gumi has already fled to Turkey, while we are hearing too that Asari Dokubo, in preparation of what is going to come, might be making his way out of the country, and maybe some are saying that he might disappear at the end of the day to China, when the whole thing actually hots up. But the question is this, is Americans having met on this matter on public hearing, and now that United Nations have it has gotten to the global level, where United Nations General Assembly have to give audience to the issues where top Americans and leaders and Democrats and Republicans are making the same statement on the issue of Nigerian government silence over the killings that is taking place in Nigeria for years now. So it tells you that there is something that the Northerners are trying to play out when they are trying to align with certain regional powers, to make sure that they water down the ongoing crisis and allegations of Christian persecution in Nigeria. So I think it's from that angle that the Niger Delta now rises up and begin to question the rationale why they are diverting from the real issues, as if there's nothing like that is going on. And the question is that why is it that the federal government have not actually, extended investigation to the activities of Sheikh Gumi within the northern hemisphere? That's another one, and that's what the Niger Delta militants are reacting to that. And there's this direct threat from these jihadists, on south and of course southeast, are detailing whatever that is going to come out at the end of the day. That if anything happens and the United States of America are able to strike in Nigeria, that the northern part of the country would retaliate. I was saw in a particular video where the son of the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are having a close, precisely, we are having a close, relationship with this man that should actually be declared wanted for activities, that is being seen to be one of the enablers of these, killings, defending them, calling for amnesty for them, saying a lot of things for them, representing them, even to an extent, wanted to be the face of jihadists in Nigeria, defending the atrocities that's happening in the country. But the federal government themselves, under Bola Ahmed Tinubu, seems to be having some level of sympathy and trying to defend, this thing that has become very, very glaring. The CAN Association, apart from Nigeria Pentecostal Fellowship, association or organization, whatever they call themselves, that have been, sitting on the fence on the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria. But they can't have taken a decisive decision. There are proofs, that this is actually going on. So I wonder why we are having the northern military leaders, silent, the northern governor silent, the Sultan of Sokoto silent, the emirs in the north silent. A lot of them are silent. Are they having a certain preparation or a certain plan? And the only person that seems to be speaking in general for these, northerners, talking about the implementation of, Sharia and the rest of them in Nigeria, is this particular Sheikh Gumi that was rejected in Saudi Arabia. I think he was deported from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And
they don't allow him to perform.
Yes, we are seeing recently that for 2 days or 3 days now, the crown prince of the Saudi, has been having a very close, talk, a closed door meeting with the president of the United States of America, meaning that America has already singled him out and maybe have passed an instruction to the Saudi government not to allow that man have access to anything within Saudi Arabia or even to participate in anything that has to do with visit or whatever tourism in Saudi Arabia. And that is why we are hearing that he actually disappeared to Turkey, where he's actually operating currently from making unfortunate statements on the issue on that. But you see that the federal government is not actually responding in terms of questioning or invitation or even arrest of Sheikh Gumi, and that is actually what has angered the entire structure of the Niger Delta Avengers, and they are saying now that they cannot condone this kind of statement coming from Sheikh Gumi, denying the reality on ground because of their quest to consolidate and begin to manipulate a certain process, create sentiment, create I don't know how to put it, separation, create, a certain sentiment, within the south and the southeast in block because of what. So that consciousness is already coming up now, and the reaction of what's it called? Asari Dokubo in that regard has triggered the questioning that that if anything happens, Oman is going to definitely defend whatever is left of Nigeria at the end of the day.
I'm surprised. What to make Asari Dokubo to be reasoning like that? Is it because he has become Muslim, or he is showing, sympathy for the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That man has always been somebody with a turbulence nature, very, very unstable. He will come out today, say something, tomorrow he will say something different. What do you think it moved Asari Dokubo to quickly respond to the suggestion of America?
Yes, he actually said that Sheikh Gumi is not his friend, and that he's not going to support because it has come to his notice that Sheikh Gumi is an enabler of terrorism in Nigeria, and he was just saying another thing, say another thing tomorrow. It has become quite a controversial, and his face is being seen, as not the face of the Niger Delta area, and that is why you are seeing militants sending a serious signal and warning to him to conduct himself, because he is not representing anybody. He seems to be representing Bola Ahmed Tinubu because of whatever gesture or charity that has been extended to him by Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the past, and that is the angle he is actually coming from. And for you to not be very clear, threatening American government that you are going to do this, to an extent you are going to mobilize this and that, and you are a Muslim, you see, it signals to that there's possibility that he was actually planted there for the same purpose. Because he, from what we are seeing now, he is not actually defending what is the reality. What he is defending is the position of his interest in this government. And which is quite unfortunate.
Not the interest of the Niger Delta as a whole.
No, not at all. And it has triggered a reaction now, that there seems to be a massive regroup, to checkmate his excesses and, and continuous threat, to the people who are not even involved in anything that has to do with disaliving people in Nigeria, especially the Igbo people, aligning. You can see Sheikh Gumi, Yodele, and the same Asari Dokubo, making a direct statement against the. And this thing has gotten to a point that it has angered Niger Delta, groups, and they are sending a serious signal that he should call. They're not even saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu should call himself to order. That he should call himself to order with immediate effect. And you can see some of this. This is a guy that came out and claimed that he's no longer a Christian, that he's a Muslim. And this kind of crisis is happening. That means if there's going to be a kind of, a foot soldier within the Niger Delta area, as in terms of the Islamic government or Islamic agenda or jihadist tendencies that is happening, that he is definitely going to align
with the Fulani.
With the Fulanis. Whether it was Bola Ahmed Tinubu that made him to convert to Islam, according to him, that is his business. But the reality on ground, that can he be able to stand what is coming? Can he be able to come out and say, yes, I am defending, Islam in South, and be able to stand it when the whole thing becomes very clear on the direction of where people want to take their stand? That is the question.
There's something that usually worried me. Why is it that some of our people here, especially from South, they usually, go along with the Fulani? Since the day of Adakaboro fought along Nigeria's soldier, to the days of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the rest of them. Now we have Asari Dokubo. Why is it like that? Why are they always, ready to be used by this, Fulani?
Femi, in fact, that's a very sensitive question, and that is what is. We must look at it. Why is always having this kind of issue? We are marking 30 years of
Saro-Wiwa. Yes. I think it was killed on 10 of November.
By the same people. That he supported.
Yes.
We saw to Asari Dokubo, Adakaboro, when he refused to join the Biafran army. He lined with the Nigerian government, the same Nigerian government that killed him.
Under the control of Bisama.
Yeah. So it's the same people that killed him at the end of the day. So they were not able to understand anything. But they forgot that, a certain man, a principal, a teacher, a lecturer, a novelist, Opugo, who is from Niger Delta, who is from Bayelsa, precisely, Ijo Nation, was the one who actually suggested the name Biafra to Odumegwu Ojukwu. You know, so I don't. So if you look at, you see the role that these northern Fulanis, you know, using the face of Christians, Christian personalities or leaders, you know, to champion a certain cause, you know, is what is actually deceiving them. Remember that it's only the entire eastern Nigeria that was broken into south and southeast. Before, it was purely a regional block, you know, the southeast block. You understand? And what they do, what Gowon succeeded in doing is that immediately after the war, he quickly rushed to those minorities now and brought them to the federal level. So they now gave them a funny sense of belonging, so that they'll be able to be used against the alleged domination of Igbos, you know, which is not very correct. So based on that, they begin to build on that unfortunate fact, you know, and that was how that thing got to a point where we are having somebody who once claimed, you know, that he is a Biafran, and later felt that, you know, the Igbos have suddenly become his enemy, and that he's going to align with, you know, the likes of, you know, he said it very clearly that he's not going to defend Nigeria. He's only interested in defending Bola Ahmed, you know, Tinubu, and he gave unfortunate reasons why he converted from Christian to Islam, and that reason, you know, shows that he is aligning with the Fulanis, you know, and he represents their foot soldiers in Niger Delta.
Thank you. When you say, if we would say we continue in this line, we are going to spend a lot of time, because I would have a lot of questions is bothering my mind, but it's like our time after. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and remain blessed.